Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Detroit Lions in today's video. We're going to be recapping yesterday because there's good and there's bad. It's mainly good because we're talking about second string guys, we're talking about rookies. Obviously the game ended on an extremely sour note, so prayers up for Norris, but hopefully he's doing good. I believe he is doing good, at least since when the game ended. But football is a crazy sport, and yeah, prayers for him. We're gonna start it from the top and work ourselves to the bottom. I'm trying to make more videos like this, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. I'm a little bit worried now that the Lions are 2 games into preseason that the starting quarterback, or I keep doing that, the backup quarterback is not on this roster. So Hendon Hooker got the start yesterday, last night, and then Kyle Allen got the start 2 weeks ago in the Hall of Fame game. Hendon went 7 of 10 for 38 yards. All right, he had a rating of 76.2. He ran 3 times for 27 yards, including a 23-yarder. I would feel very uncomfortable if he had to start a game or a stretch of games for a Super Bowl contending NFC North hopeful winner in the Detroit Lions. I'm not saying the experiment should be over. I'm not saying to overreact to just one preseason game, but what I am saying is I would not feel comfortable for the Lions to deploy Hendon Hooker for a month. Now, how many backup quarterbacks can you say that you would feel comfortable? Well, to be honest with you, maybe really only the contenders, and the Detroit Lions are a contender. Now, Kyle Allen comes in 7 of 8, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He threw a beautiful football to Jackson Meeks, by the way, threw a beautiful touchdown to Isaac Tesla, and he was the better quarterback by far. But then we go back 1 week ago to the Hall of Fame game, and that was not the case in any way, shape, or form that Kyle Allen is like, oh, he should be the backup QB. Now, there's a few more preseason games left. I get it, but I'm still not quite sure if the backup QB's on the roster right now. Not saying get rid of Kyle Allen, Hendon Hooker, or anything like that. I just don't think he's on the roster. You guys know I'm a Packers fan, and I remember being like in North Carolina when this happened. I think I was on a golf course 1 year ago, right when preseason ended. The Green Bay Packers traded for Malik Willis, the former, wasn't he a first-round pick? Maybe he was briefly a second-round pick, but I'm pretty sure Malik Willis was a first-round pick. The Packers trade for him in literally at the end of preseason, and Jordan Love ends up getting injured in week 1 in Brazil against Philadelphia Eagles. Malik Willis started games 2 and 3 for the Green Bay Packers. I still get comments, any Packers video I make on Will Upton, I still get comments saying Malik Willis should be the franchise guy. Because we went 2-0 with him, and he looked phenomenal, and he didn't play any preseason for Green Bay last season. So I'm just saying, no overreactions needed. There's still some preseason games left. The Hendon Hooker experiment kind of feels like it's maybe not the best. But we're talking about backup quarterbacks here. Maybe, I don't know why Aiden O'Connell just came to my mind. There's nothing really too inspiring with Aiden O'Connell, but for some reason he just comes to my mind. I honestly think I've gotten some comments on this, even on this channel, that, Shedeur Sanders a few weeks ago, and then especially with his debut yesterday. Yeah. Running back room, there are only a couple of guys dressed for the running backs, and Sion Vaki, I think he's going to have a really nice role for the Detroit Lions this upcoming season, but he did not dress due to his injury. And, yeah, you got David Montgomery, you got Jahmyr Gibbs. We saw a little bit of Craig Reynolds, some Jabari Small, but nothing to write home too crazy about. Honestly, the offense in general. I mentioned the 68-yarder it did end up being with Jackson Meeks and Kyle Allen. They also connected on a touchdown. Isaac Tesla, which, by the way, every video I've ever made, whether it's a TikTok, tweet, YouTube here, YouTube, any Will Upton, whatever it is, any college football film I've ever watched, people say his name differently every goddamn time. So I come back here on the mic and I'm like, Isaac Tesla, and they're like, nope, Tesla, nope. Isaac Tesla, nope. So maybe comment down below, because I'm watching these games, I'm watching college football tape, I'm like, every 3 times his name's mentioned, it's something different. So, kind of a weird rant, but he caught a beautiful 11-yard touchdown from Kyle Allen in last night's football game. One thing I noticed when I was watching, especially in the first quarter, because that first quarter might have genuinely been, and I've been to like Bears-Browns preseason games. Like my family had Bears preseason, or my family had Bears season tickets, and we would go, especially as kids and growing up, and even when I went to school in Chicago, we would go to preseason football games. We're talking about the Bears. I've watched some pretty boring preseason games. That first quarter, I think, was number 1. I mean, it was like, what the heck am I watching? This is like quite literally the most boring thing I've ever watched ever in my life. But anyways, Tesla, people comment, Puka Nacua, his blocking, I noticed that yesterday. People noticed it yesterday. People noticed it in week 1. I've got like 2 videos on my Twitter of just him blocking in the last 2 weeks. The dude's so smart. I saw somebody comment that he like blocks like a tight end, which I was like, yeah, I can see that for sure. This has nothing to do with the Lions wide receiver room, but it would not shock me if Isaac was wide receiver number 3 very soon for this team. And real quick, Giovanni Manu, that future is unbelievably bright. Also forgot to mention Hendon Hooker's 2 lost fumbles. That is extremely important to note because, like I said, that experiment might unfortunately be over. Real quick, guys, if you don't mind hitting that like button, hit that sub button. This video still seems a little bit weird. I'm trying to obviously make way more Lions content on this channel. We've been trying in August. I don't like making Will Upton videos as much as I used to, maybe because the views are down, but like they're so clickbaity because you have to be clickbaity. And I don't know, I just kind of want to grow this community just as like a community. So let me know if you even like these videos. I used to make all of my videos on Will Upton exactly like this, but this does feel a little bit weird. Feels like I'm ranting to myself. We're like 8 minutes in and we're just now getting to the defense. So let me know if you like this style of content or anything like that down below. I'm also really hoping this cheap ass mic is working because sometimes it doesn't. Rocky Sin, so we did this a few days ago. Ennis Rakestraw, I think he's done for the season, right? It's brutal news. Not even because I like about the Lions depth chart, but just absolutely brutal news because he's still so young, entering his 2nd campaign, and his sophomore campaign is over. It's just brutal news. Rocky Sin, the dude's a beast, and he's now had 2 really, really good preseason football games at cornerback for this Detroit Lions team, and I would consider him now, especially with everything that's going on in the secondary, I would consider him definitely a lock to make this roster. Zach Cunningham had a very good game as well. Now Asaki had a very good game. Al-Qadim Muhammad had a very good game. I've actually got some tape that I saw from Twitter, so I kind of want the All-22, like I said at the beginning, I kind of want the All-22 to come out so I can, draw the circles and all that stuff, and we can hit a video like this if you guys want it. Probably going to do it anyways. But I really liked, especially Al-Qadim Muhammad. I was kind of surprised to see this guy's like almost 30. He's like 28 years old, and he's a vet. He's just a straight up vet, and he was huge at certain points during that injury craziness last season. And Zach Cunningham comes on in, free agent. He had a good game as well, and this depth, man, it looks good. This depth looks really good. Nate Lynn had a good game. Grant Stewart looks like there's something there for sure. Avonte Maddox, Hassanin still getting pressures. He was doing his thing. We really do need to do. Project Martin had like the craziest 3-play sequence in his NFL career. It was like genuinely crazy. It was like if I just showed you this dude's clips, you'd be like, why is he playing in this game? Like, it sounds crazy even say that out loud. But yeah, I feel like we kind of need some defensive clips. I was going to possibly pull some up during this video. Maybe I'll edit it in. But yeah, I really liked it. Muhammad's 6'6", 285. There was a really good play where he like got a really good rep, almost hit the quarterback, pretty much kind of hit the quarterback, but it was a pressure. And then like one or two plays later, he got the sack, so that was nice. Giovanni Manu, yeah, he's 6'8", 350, and he was giving up nothing last night, so it was sick. And this is what I kind of feel like I was forgetting about. Jake Bates drops a 57-yard field goal. His story is so cool. I mean, his story is kind of like the epitome of the Detroit Lions' current culture and what they've been building for the last few years. His story is so cool. He is a stone-cold killer, and having that special teams threat, having these guys at kicker, whatever it is, specifically your kicker, is one of those things where it's hard to appreciate unless you got a bad special teams unit. But Lions fans, you guys are obviously all aboard the Jake Bates train. He had a phenomenal rookie season last year. The kid is literally a stone-cold killer, and that is a huge strength on this Detroit Lions team, which I think is just really cool. Other than that, man, we'll do some film studies if you guys want. If you want any specific players that we can group into a video, let me know down below. But yeah, we're looking at second stringers, we're looking at third stringers, we're looking at practice squad guys. Tate, I totally even forgot about Tate Radledge. He also looked phenomenal. Like, genuinely, he looked actually phenomenal. I get it. You're going up against Panthers second stringers, you're going up against the same thing, second, third stringers, what have you. But this is when we first got to see Tate play, because he didn't play 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago. The clips I saw of him, because it's hard to like watch the offensive line, unless somebody's like throwing up tweets of guys like Giovanni and Tate. It's kind of hard to just like, there's so much going on the football field, and it's hard to like, if you're going to watch any guy on the offensive line, you're not going to see anything else that happens on that play. So that's why I'm saying we kind of need the all 22. But from what I did see of him and Manu on Twitter, it was very exciting. Like, very exciting. So, yeah, that's it, man. We got to get a little bit out of our comfort zone. Like I said, I really like making NFL videos. And I just would love, my Lions channel, you guys support me so much. As you guys know, like, my whole dad's side of the family is from literally downtown in Detroit, and so Detroit sports were always a big part of my life, and especially even at like Thanksgiving and stuff. So thank you guys for watching these videos. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, you know the deal. And yeah, let me know if you like this style of content. It means the absolute world to me if you're still watching this. So yeah, maybe you even notice we got kind of a new whole thing back there. Yeah, that's it. Peace. Thank you.